It is therefore my pleasing duty and honor to solicit your undivided attention as our God-sent leader in the person of Commander-in-Chief Dr. Simon Kyan Doe, Head of State and President of the National Assembly and President-elect of the Republic of Liberia, addresses the nation. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the Head of State of Liberia.
And now the Head of State is approaching the podium very soon, and a moment from now he will be delivering his special speech to the nation. Now let's join the Head of State.
Mr. Vice President of the International Assembly, Mr. Deputy Vice Head of State, Mr. Speaker, Mr. Secretary General, members of the International Assembly, Mr. Chief Justice, and members of the Supreme Court, members of the Cabinet, Mr. Chairman, and members of the Special Military Tribunal, Mr. Chief of Staff, members of the Armed Forces of Liberia, Mr. Dorian, and members of the Diplomatic Corps, Mr. Chairman, and members of the Special Election Commission, heads of business houses, prelates, fellow citizens, ladies and gentlemen. I must first of all give thanks and praises to the Almighty God who has preserved our nation and who has made it possible for me to stand here today to speak to you on matters of national concern. About 10 days ago, on the fateful mornings of November 12, 1985, our country was plunged into turmoil by the rebel forces under the command of the former Commanding General Thomas G. Quiwonkpa. Most of the rebels have been apprehended, and some, including Commanding General Quiwonkpa, were killed during the fighting. Today, the nation remains in a state of crisis, and tensions as security forces endeavor to capture the remaining rebels and their collaborators. A curfew is in full throughout the country. The invasion has left in its aftermath families in distress, from the losses of relatives and loved ones. Millions of dollars worth of properties have been destroyed, and the economic life of the country severely interrupted. You may recall, fellow citizens, that in our acceptance speech on November 1st, 1985, following notification by the International Assembly of our election, we spoke extensively on the need for national unity and reconciliation in order that together we will build this country. We appeal to our political parties and our entire citizenry to put aside all differences and resolve to work in unity in realizing the hopes and aspirations of our people. Our appeal was based upon our firm belief that it is only through unity, love, and brotherhood that we can achieve those things which envisage for our nation and people. We also emphasize on the several occasions that in the absence of these virtues, and should there be any misfortune in this country, it will be the common people who will suffer. As you can see, it will appear that all these appeals fell on deaf ears. As a result, the rebels and other outsiders thought that we, the Liberians, were fighting a battle which could only be resolved through armed struggle. Therefore, the rebels and their supporters in Liberia and elsewhere were encouraged to carry out their evil designs. But the law being on our side, and knowing that I personally hadn't done nothing to anybody except in the land with my duties as the head of state of this nation, the rebels were valid. According to confession made by some of those rebels captured, the Sierra Leonean authorities were in knowledge of the invasion. The rebels also revealed that certain members of the Liberian Action Party had been in contact with the late Commanding General in the planning of the invasion. It would seem, therefore, that this apparent knowledge may have influenced their decision to convince other parties not to accept the election results. However, we are not yet convinced whether or not the Liberian Action Party was connected with the late Quiwonkpa. The matter is now before the courts. Fellow citizens, throughout the electoral process, we sought to pursue the objective of unity out of the conviction that this was the right and just thing to do. We also felt that we owe it to the Liberian people to keep our commitment to return this country to democratic sovereign rule, where the principles of justice and equality will prevail. We were convinced further that the new political order which was unfolding in this country would endanger the removal of barriers, restrain tendencies toward tribalism, sectionalism, and all other types of divisiveness. We are hoped that our citizens will fully embrace this concept and resolve to work in tandem in pursuing our goals. You may recall further, fellow citizens, that in spite of our difficult situation, the government has exerted tremendous effort geared towards the recovery of our economy and improving the quality of life of all our people. During the last few months, public sector payroll had once more been made current, and we undertook measures which we had hoped would further improve the economic situation. It was at this time when most of our citizens began to breathe a sigh of relief, a time when hope was being reborn, when investors were once more looking to our country as a place which offer real opportunities. Yes, it was at this time that the forces of evil took the heart of some of our citizens with grand designs of ambition and selfishness. Our people must therefore understand that the November 12th invasion has taken us back several years in our development efforts. The full impact of this setback is difficult to assess and will require time for full evaluation. Meanwhile, we wish to thank the loyal men and women of the armed forces and other security forces for their sacrificial services rendered in defense of their nation. We extend deepest sympathy to the family and loved ones of those who lost their lives and to all our citizens who suffer loss as a result of this tragic event. Pursuant to our belief and determination to put this unfortunate event behind us and look forward with hope, the following measures have already been taken. 1. We have given strict instruction to all our security forces and our entire citizenry that there should be no campaign of revenge against any persons or group of persons merely on the basis of their ethnic background. And look forward with hope. The following measures have already been taken. 1. We have given strict instruction to all our security forces and our entire citizenry that there should be no campaign of revenge against any persons or group of persons merely on the basis of their ethnic background. 2. Consistent with our belief in the rule of law, we have directed that those personally in detention as a result of the November 12 invasion be given speedy and fair trial. Civilians and politicians are to be tried in civil court, while military and paramilitary personnel are to be tried by the Special Military Tribunal. 3. Because of our concern for the economic welfare of the nation, we have reopened the air and sea ports in order to accommodate free flow of trade and commerce. Security personnel and other essential employees in concession areas have also been allowed to resume night duties provided they adhere to the security procedures and regulations. The Sudan curfew imposed on November 12 has been reduced by 2 hours from 8 p.m. to 6 a.m. In order to enable us to survive as a nation and to encourage outside assistance, we are compelled to institute the following economic measures, and we appeal for your understanding, patience, and cooperation in this regard. 1. Effective December 1st, 1985, there will be an across-the-board 25% reduction in the salary for all government employees of government ministry and agencies, as well as those personnel earning above $200 per month. This reduction, however, does not affect military and paramilitary personnel from the rank of captain and below. Doctors and nurses are also exempted from this measure. Because of the tight financial squeeze being experienced by government, the $24 transportation allowance given to nurses and teachers is hereby abolished. 3. Government ministry and agencies are hereby directed to retrench all unproductive employees and retire those of retirement age. 4. With respect to the banking community, government will introduce policy measures very shortly, which it is hoped will help alleviate the liquidity crisis, and we expect that all banks will comply. 5. Meanwhile, no individual will be allowed to physically take more than $1,000 cash out of the country. All amounts over $1,000 are to be transferred through the banking system. 6. The business community and employees of agencies concerned are warned against giving or receiving bribes. Anyone caught will be dealt with in keeping with law. We wish at this time to appeal to all our partners in progress, foreign friends, particularly the United States government, to assist us in the reconstruction of our national economy. To you, my fellow citizens, I call upon you to close ranks more than ever before as we continue the unfinished task before us. As you can see, the days ahead of us will be very difficult ones. But together, let us take up the challenge to build our nation in unity, peace, and freedom. In this connection, I admonish all our people to stop lying on one another, to love and feel for each other as we go through these difficult times. We hope that all patriotic citizens will take November 12, 1985 as a day of recommitment to ourselves, our government, our country, and above all, to our God. Through the everlasting protection and guidance of Almighty God, we commit this nation now and in the years ahead. May He bless the work of our hands and save the state. Thank you.
That was the head of state with a very special message to the nation.
Thank you. The Commander-in-Chief deserves another round of applause. Thank you. You may be seated. Please be seated.
That was a very important speech by the head of state to the nation. This is a good presentation, bringing a live coverage
The head of state
from
will
the
receive.
Executive Mansion Palace.
We ask our distinguished guests on my left, starting with the diplomatic coup headed by the Doyen, to please come single file and greet the head of state and go out. Thank you. Only guests on my left at this time.
And now we have some high dignitaries, members of the diplomatic corps, who are now coming up to greet the head of state. Down here at the Executive Mansion, we have managing directors and their deputies, members of the diplomatic corps, ministers and their deputies, members of the clergy, members of the RNA prelates, heads of business houses. From where I sit, I see the president of the University of Liberia, Joseph Morris, the Minister of Finance, G. Alvin Jones, Second Chairman Emmett Farmer. I also see the Deputy Minister for Technical Affairs at the Agriculture Ministry, Peter Deal Young, Fred J. Blade, the Honorable Fred J. Blade, the Ambassador to the Ivory Coast, Harold Tang. We also have here INA member Archibald Panay, and the Honorable Samuel B. Hill. Also at Ocean, we have Internal Affairs Minister